Every morning, thousands over 60 repeat the same silent mistake. And it's not just bad for your energy, it quietly rewires the brain for weakness. As a brain doctor, I've watched this single habit triple the risk of stroke, memory loss, and emotional instability. If you truly care about your body's wisdom, stay until the very end, because the last truth I'll share may change everything. Morning haste. What does it mean to begin? We so often think of beginnings as grand events, as loud declarations, the start of a new job, a new relationship, a new journey. But the most important beginning, the one that shapes all the others, happens quietly every single day. It is the moment you transition from the world of sleep, of dreams, of stillness, to the world of action, of thought, of movement. And it is here, in this sacred, fragile moment, that a profound mistake is made by so many of us. A mistake that does not feel like a mistake. It feels normal. It feels like what you are supposed to do. This mistake is haste. It is the immediate and violent jolt from a state of rest into a state of emergency. Think of how most people wake up. The alarm, a sound designed to be jarring and impossible to ignore, shocks the system. It is an artificial emergency signal. The very first input your mind and body receive is one of alarm, of urgency, of threat. And what follows? You jump out of bed. The mind is already racing, listing the tasks of the day, worrying about the time, feeling the pressure of the clock before your feet have even found the floor. You rush to the bathroom, you rush to get dressed, you rush to get caffeine into your system to fuel this very rush. This is not a transition, this is a collision. This morning haste is a form of self-inflicted violence. You are, in essence, telling your body, your entire nervous system, to go from 0 to 100 in a single second. Imagine a finely tuned instrument, a guitar perhaps. If you were to pick it up and immediately, with no care, thrash the strings as hard as you could, what would you get? You would get a jarring, unpleasant, chaotic noise. You might even break a string. You would not get music. To create music, you must approach the instrument with intention, with care. You touch it gently, you feel the strings, you tune it, you create harmony. Your body, your mind, your entire being is an instrument far more complex and delicate than any guitar. And yet, we thrash it into action every single morning. This immediate activation of what is often called the fight or flight response floods your system with stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. These are powerful chemicals designed for genuine emergencies, for survival. When you use an alarm clock to shock yourself awake and immediately begin rushing, you are starting your day in survival mode. You are telling your body that the world is a threat from the very first moment of consciousness. This has profound physiological consequences, especially on the cardiovascular system. Think of your blood vessels, the intricate pathways that carry life and energy throughout your body. In a state of rest, they are relaxed and open. When you trigger this emergency response, they constrict, they tighten. Your heart begins to beat faster, working harder to push blood through these narrowed channels. Your blood pressure spikes. Now, doing this once is not the issue. The body is resilient. But what is the effect of doing this every single morning for 10 years, 20 years, 40 years? It is the slow, steady accumulation of strain. It is like driving your car, and every single day, the moment you turn the key, you slam the accelerator to the floor. The engine roars, the car lurches, and it works. It moves. But what are you doing to the engine? You are creating unnecessary wear and tear, stressing every component and dramatically shortening its lifespan. This is what we do to our own internal engine. This constant, daily spike in blood pressure, this constriction of our vessels, is a form of training. But we are not training for resilience, we are training for fragility. Over time, this repeated strain can weaken the walls of our blood vessels. It can contribute to the buildup of plaque, creating blockages. It is like a river that is forced to rush through a narrow canyon every single day. It slowly erodes the canyon walls, making them weaker, more prone to collapse. This is the unseen damage of morning haste. It is not the single act of jumping out of bed that is the danger. It is the mindset of emergency, the habit of chaos, the lack of a mindful transition that, over a lifetime, creates the perfect internal environment for a catastrophic failure. The risk of stroke, which is essentially a disruption of blood flow to the brain, is not a matter of bad luck. It is often the final, tragic result of a lifetime of small, unconscious habits. It is the culmination of thousands of mornings spent in a state of internal alarm. And the first step to changing this outcome is to simply become aware of the pattern, to see it for what it is, a violent beginning to a day that deserves a peaceful one. Body's language. Your body is speaking to you always. It does not use words, but its language is far more direct, more honest. It speaks in the language of sensation, of tension, of ease, of breath. The great tragedy of our modern lives is not that our bodies have stopped speaking, but that we have stopped listening. We are so preoccupied with the noise of the mind, the plans, the worries, the distractions, that we have become deaf to the wisdom of the vessel that carries us through life. When we speak of this morning mistake, the abrupt rush into the day, we must understand how the body communicates the damage that is being done. It sends signals, quiet at first, but growing louder over time. The problem is that we have been conditioned to ignore these signals, or worse, to numb them. A headache is not a nuisance to be silenced with a pill, it is a signal. Chronic tightness in the shoulders is not just a side effect of work. It is a message about how you hold stress. That feeling of being perpetually tired, even after a full night's sleep, is your body's language for a deep imbalance. When you jolt yourself awake in the morning, the body's language is immediate and clear if you are willing to listen. Feel that sudden tension in your neck and back as you sit up too quickly. Notice the shallow, rapid nature of your breath as your mind already begins to race through your to-do list. Pay attention to that subtle, almost imperceptible tremor in your hands as the adrenaline begins to circulate. These are not random occurrences. They are the physical vocabulary of a system under duress. This is your body saying, this is too fast, this is a shock, this is not harmonious. But we override it. We grab our phone, and the blue light and endless scroll of information become a powerful distraction from these physical sensations. We drink coffee, which acts as a further stimulant, masking the body's plea for calm with a chemical sense of alertness. We have become masters of overriding our own internal guidance system. We treat the body like an inconvenient piece of luggage that we must drag along with us through our day, rather than the living temple that is the source of all of our experiences. This disconnect has a name. In ancient traditions, it would be described as a separation of mind and body, a scattering of one's ki or life energy. In modern terms, we might call it a lack of somatic awareness, the ability to feel and interpret the internal state of one's own body. Without this awareness, we are flying blind. We are unable to make the small, constant adjustments that are necessary for maintaining health and balance. It is like a ship's captain who ignores the creaking of the hull, the shuddering of the mast, and the smell of smoke from the engine room. The captain is so focused on reaching the destination quickly that they ignore all the signs that the ship is about to fall apart. This is the state in which many of us live. The risk of a stroke after 60 is not something that appears out of nowhere. It is the final destination of a journey that began decades earlier, with thousands of ignored signals. The body was speaking, but no one was listening. The damage accumulates silently. The arteries harden, the blood pressure rises, the inflammatory processes simmer just beneath the surface of our awareness. To begin to reverse this, the practice is not complex. It is simply to start listening. The next time you wake, before you move, just lie there and listen. Do not listen with your ears. Listen with your entire being. What do you feel? Is there tension in your jaw? Is your stomach tight? How does your heart feel in your chest? Can you feel the gentle rhythm of your own pulse? This is not a passive act. It is a profound act of reunion, of bringing the mind back home into the body. This practice of listening is the foundation of all true health. Because when you can hear what your body is telling you, you can respond with wisdom instead of ignorance. You can choose to move gently instead of abruptly. You can choose to breathe deeply instead of shallowly. You can choose to start your day with an act of communion with yourself rather than an act of collision. This is the beginning of learning the body's language. It is the most important language you will ever learn because it is the language of life itself, spoken directly to you in every single moment. Mindful transition. If the mistake is haste, then the correction must be slowness. If the problem is a violent collision, the solution must be a gentle transition. The power to completely transform the health of your mind and body and to dramatically reduce the risk we are speaking of does not lie in some expensive supplement or complicated new technology. It lies in the first 10 minutes of your day. It is about creating a structure, a ritual that honors the profound shift from stillness to action. This is not about adding more tasks to your already busy morning. It is about changing the quality of what you are already doing. It is about infusing your first few moments with awareness, with intention, with kindness towards yourself. This is the practice of a mindful transition, and it is a gift you can give yourself every single day. The practice begins before the alarm clock even has a chance to sound its alarm. If possible, try to wake naturally or set an alarm that is gentle, perhaps with soft chimes or slowly increasing light. The goal is to be invited into the day, not ejected into it. Upon waking, the first rule is simple. Do not move. Do not sit up. Do not reach for your phone. The world can wait for 10 minutes. This is your time. Lie still in your bed and simply arrive in your body. This is the first step of listening that we spoke of. Feel the weight of your body on the mattress. Feel the texture of the blankets against your skin. Notice the quality of the light in the room. Hear the sounds around you without judgment. Just be present. Then bring your awareness to your breath. This is the anchor. You will simply take 3 conscious breaths. A slow, deep inhalation through the nose, feeling your belly expand, and a long, complete exhalation through the mouth, letting go of all the stale air, all the residue of sleep. In these 3 breaths, something remarkable happens. You are consciously shifting your nervous system out of a potential state of alarm and into a state of calm. You are telling your body, we are safe, we are in control, we will begin this day with peace. After these breaths, you can begin to introduce gentle movement, all while still lying in bed. This is not exercise, it is an awakening. Start with your extremities. Gently rotate your ankles, first one way, then the other. Wiggle your toes, then move to your hands. Rotate your wrists and gently open and close your fists. You are sending gentle signals of wakefulness to your entire nervous system, slowly bringing circulation back to your limbs. Then you can move to larger movements. Very slowly, draw one knee towards your chest, giving it a gentle hug. Hold it for a moment, breathing into the stretch in your lower back. Then release it and do the same with the other leg. Perhaps then bring both knees to your chest. These are not athletic feats. The goal is gentleness. You are lubricating your joints and telling your muscles that it is time to wake, but you are doing so in a way that is respectful and nurturing. This entire process might take only 5 minutes, but its effects will echo throughout your entire day. Only after this sequence of presence, breath, and gentle movement should you consider sitting up. And when you do it slowly. Roll onto your side first, using your arms to push yourself up to a seated position on the edge of the bed. Do not lurch forward. Once seated, take another moment. Feel your feet flat on the floor. Take another conscious breath. Now you are ready to stand. Now you are ready to begin your day. You have transformed a moment of potential shock and cardiovascular strain into a meditative practice of self-care. You have created a buffer of calm between the world of sleep and the world of action. This ritual does more than just protect your blood vessels. It sets the mental and emotional tone for your entire day. When you start from a place of peace and centeredness, you are far more resilient to the stresses that will inevitably come. You are no longer starting the day by losing your balance. You are starting the day by actively cultivating it. This mindful transition is the practical antidote to morning haste. It is simple, it costs nothing, and its power to protect your health is immeasurable. Cultivating stillness. We have spoken of the mistake, the body's language, and the mindful transition. But now we must arrive at the core of this teaching, because the ultimate goal of this practice is not, in fact, the prevention of a stroke. That is a wonderful and important outcome, a consequence, but it is not the purpose. The true purpose is the cultivation of a state of being. The true purpose is to learn to carry an ocean of stillness within you, even as the storms of life rage on the surface. The morning ritual is your training ground. It is the dojo in which you practice the art of self-mastery. What you do in those first 10 minutes of the day is a microcosm of how you can choose to live your entire life. By choosing a gentle transition over a violent jolt in the morning, you are practicing how to respond to life's challenges with calm responsiveness rather than panicked reactivity. You are training your nervous system day by day to find its default state in peace, not in anxiety. This is the final insight, the most powerful part of this understanding. The way you begin your day is the way you live your life. If your day begins with haste, stress, and a feeling of being behind, that feeling will color every interaction, every task, every decision you make. You will move through your day with a subtle but pervasive sense of urgency and tension. You will be more likely to get irritated in traffic, to be impatient with your loved ones, to feel overwhelmed by your work. You are carrying the chaotic energy of your morning with you. But if you begin your day with stillness, with breath, with conscious, gentle movement, you are creating a foundation of peace. You are filling your own cup first, and from that state of inner calm and centeredness, you will move through your day differently. You will have more patience. You will see solutions instead of problems. You will be a source of calm for others rather than a source of stress. You are not just preventing a future illness, you are creating present wellness. This practice of cultivating stillness is the deepest form of preventative medicine there is. It goes beyond the physical mechanisms of blood pressure and cortisol. It touches the very essence of what it means to be healthy. A healthy human being is not just someone who is free from disease. A healthy human being is someone who is in harmony with themselves and with the world around them. They have clarity of mind, an open heart, and a body that is a trusted friend, not a burden. The morning ritual is the daily act of renewing this harmony. It is a declaration that you are the master of your inner state, not a victim of external circumstances. The alarm clock does not control you. The to-do list does not control you. The endless demands of the world do not control you. You begin your day by connecting to the unshakable stillness that resides within you, and from that place, you engage with the world. So do not see this as just another health tip. See it for what it is. A path back to yourself, a path to a life lived with more grace, more clarity, and more peace. The reduction in your risk for a stroke is a beautiful, life-saving shadow cast by a much greater light. That light is the state of inner stillness you have cultivated. It is the peace that you have learned to generate from within, starting with the very first moments of your day. This is the ultimate power you possess. The power to choose how you begin, the power to choose peace over chaos, intention over reaction, stillness over haste. Your long-term health, both of the body and of the soul, is forged in these quiet daily choices. The way you meet the morning is the way you meet your life. The choice to replace haste with presence, to replace the jolt with a gentle awakening, is not a small one. It is the most profound act of self-respect. It is in this stillness that you find your strength, and in this gentleness that you find your resilience. This is the key, not just to a longer life, but to a deeper one. I've always been a jump out of bed and hit the ground running person. I thought it was productive. After watching this, I realized it was just anxiety. I tried the simple 3-breath and gentle stretch routine this morning for the first time. The difference is unreal. I felt calm, not rushed. Like I was starting the day on my own terms, not the world's. It's only been one day, but this feels like it could change everything. Thank you for this wisdom.